She had 2.5 million YouTube subscribers. She posted videos 5 days a week about being a perfect Christian mother. She told the world her family was a ray of sunshine, and behind closed doors she was starving her own children, tying them up with rope and forcing them to stand on a concrete patio in the summer heat for hours. For years, and nobody did anything, until her 12-year-old son climbed out of a window and ran barefoot to a stranger's house and begged for food and water. This is the story of Ruby Franke. Ruby and her husband Kevin lived in Utah with their 6 children, devout members of the LDS faith. Picture perfect family. In 2015, Ruby started a YouTube channel called 8 Passengers, documenting her family's daily life and parenting philosophy. The channel exploded. 2.5 million subscribers, over 1 billion views. Ruby became one of the most recognizable mommy bloggers in the country, but the cracks were always there if you looked closely enough. Videos where she withheld meals from children as punishment. Videos where she removed her kids' bedroom doors for months at a time. A video where she revealed she had sent her teenage son to a wilderness therapy program. A video where she laughed about not bringing her child lunch. Her own eldest daughter, Sherry, later said Ruby was physically hitting her children from as young as 5 years old. A slap to the face during piano practice, smacking her across the cheek. People in the comments flagged it. Concerned viewers reported it to authorities. Wellness checks were conducted at the Franke home multiple times. Nothing happened. Ruby Franke had too polished an image, too powerful a brand. Nobody wanted to believe the perfect Christian mother could be what the evidence was suggesting. Then Ruby met Jodi Hildebrandt. Jodi was a licensed therapist and founder of a life coaching company called Connexions, rooted in LDS faith, powerful presence in the Mormon community. She specialized in what she called repentance and healing from sin. She and Ruby became inseparable, business partners, co-hosts, and then something much darker. In 2022, Hildebrandt moved into the Franke family home, Kevin moved out, and Ruby began a complete transformation. She started believing, or being convinced, that the world was evil, that her children were possessed by evil spirits, that the abuse she was inflicting on them was not abuse. It was spiritual correction, necessary punishment for their sins, the only way to cast the darkness out of their bodies. Prosecutors later described what happened inside Hildebrandt's home in Ivins, Utah, as a concentration camp-like setting. Ruby's 12-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter were held there while the rest of the family lived elsewhere. These 2 children were denied food, denied water, denied beds. They were not allowed to interact with anyone, hidden inside closets when visitors came, forced to carry heavy boxes up and down stairs for hours, made to sit against a wall without a chair for extended periods, beaten, tied with rope, and the 12-year-old was bound hand and foot with rope after he tried to escape once before. They were made to believe they deserved every single thing being done to them. On August 30th, 2023, the boy tried again. He found a window. He climbed out. He ran to the nearest house he could find. He knocked on the door. He was emaciated. He had open wounds on his body. He had duct tape wrapped around his wrists and ankles. He asked the neighbor for food and water. The neighbor called 911 immediately. When police arrived, they found the 9-year-old girl inside the house, also severely malnourished and injured. Both children were rushed to hospital. The boy was treated for deep lacerations from being bound with rope and severe malnourishment. Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt were arrested the same day. Sherry Franke, Ruby's eldest daughter, later revealed she had been contacting authorities for months trying to warn them about what was happening to her siblings. She was not listened to either. In December 2023, both women pleaded guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse each. In February 2024, they were both sentenced to 4 consecutive terms of 1 to 15 years in prison, up to 30 years total. At sentencing, Ruby Franke stood before the court and wept. She said for the past 4 years she had followed guidance that led her into a dark delusion. She said she was led to believe the world was filled with cops who control, hospitals that injure, government agencies that brainwash, church leaders who lust, husbands who refuse to protect, and children who need abuse. And then she turned to her children in the courtroom and said, "To my babies, my 6 little chicks. I was the mama duck who was supposed to be waddling you to safety. In the past 4 years, I was consistently leading you to danger. Ruby Franke is currently in prison. She is reportedly pursuing a degree behind bars. Jodi Hildebrandt is also imprisoned, and investigators say she has already started creating little counseling groups inside the prison, seeking out women with vulnerabilities and trying to coach them. Some people never stop. Sherry Franke published a memoir in January 2025 about growing up inside that house. She has since testified before the Utah legislature about the dangers of parents monetizing their children online. She is fighting so that what happened to her family never happens to another child. She was the one trying to raise the alarm the whole time. Her voice was just not loud enough, until her brother climbed out of that window. That is the case. Nova out.